Glowberry Grove, the Sleepy Star Lantern. Part 1. You know that feeling when your body wants to sleep, but your mind keeps hopping around, like it forgot how to settle down. That's exactly where tonight's story begins, in a place where the night itself knows how to help. Glowberry Grove appeared different after dark. Not scary different, gentle different. The sky turned deep, velvety blue, and tiny glowberries on the vines shimmered like stars that decided growing close to the ground made more sense. Fireflies blinked slowly, practicing their own version of sleepy. Lila sat on the edge of her bed, pajamas on, blanket fluffed, stuffed animals lined up like polite little friends. Everything was ready for bedtime, except one thing. Inside her chest, thoughts were hopping. Her body felt buzzy, like tiny jumping beans doing gentle cartwheels. She closed her eyes, opened them. A cricket chirped outside. A leaf tapped the window. The wind moved through branches in a slow hush. For a moment, Lila felt sleepy. Then a thought popped in. What if I can't fall asleep? That thought brought friends. What if tomorrow is busy? Did I finish everything today? The questions stacked up like dishes in a sink. Lila slid off her bed and padded to the window. Glowberry Grove looked calm outside. The air looked cool. The light looked soft. She whispered to herself, maybe fresh air will help. She opened her door carefully so it wouldn't creak and stepped onto the porch. The boards felt cool beneath her feet. The night smelled like moss, honey, and clean leaves. Lila walked down the steps onto a little path that curved between trees. Her footsteps were quiet, soft, soft, soft. The grove didn't feel scary. It felt like the whole world had lowered its voice. Lila tried a breath. It came fast. She tried again, slower. In, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. Her shoulders dropped a little. She followed the path past silver moss that glimmered in moonlight. That's when she saw it. A lantern sat at the edge of the path, small enough to hold with 2 hands. It didn't have a flame. Instead, it glowed from inside, warm and golden, like it had caught a piece of starlight and decided to share it politely. Lila crouched. "Hello," she whispered. She touched the lantern's handle. It felt warm, not hot, like a mug of cocoa. She lifted it carefully. Tiny star shapes inside the lantern painted little dots of light onto the moss. Then something surprising happened. The lantern glowed brighter as Lila held it. She blinked, tried a quick breath, in and out. The lantern flickered, as if confused. She tried another quick breath. Flicker. Lila paused and tried a slow breath. In, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. The lantern glowed brighter, steady and calm. "It likes slow breathing," she whispered. She tried again, slow and gentle. The lantern answered with a warmer glow. Inside Lila's chest, the buzzy feeling softened, just a little, like a noisy room becoming quiet when a door closes gently. A soft flutter drifted down from above. Not a bat, not a bird, something quieter. A moth floated into the lantern light. Its wings were velvety and deep blue, dotted with pale spots like tiny moons. Its eyes looked kind. The moth hovered beside Lila. "Good evening, Lila." Lila turned slowly. "Hello. Do I know you?" The moth dipped like a small bow. "I am Nori the night moth, and I have been hoping someone gentle would find that lantern." Lila looked down at the glowing light in her hands. It was just sitting there. "It rests where it is needed," Nori said softly. Needed. Lila did feel like she needed something tonight. Nori floated closer and looked at the lantern's steady light. "That is a sleepy star lantern. It listens to your breath, and it learns from calm." "It learns?" Lila asked. "Yes, just like you." Lila nodded. When I breathe slowly, it glows. When I breathe fast, it flickers. Exactly, said Nori. Would you like to learn the lantern's bedtime ritual? Lila nodded quickly, then remembered bedtime is slow, and nodded again more gently. Yes, please. Nori's voice was soft as a sigh. First, we make a promise. Nothing scary will happen. The night is safe. You are safe. Your body is allowed to rest. Lila felt her shoulders loosen. Okay. Next, Nori said, we choose a sleepy word. Tonight the lantern's favorite word is glow. Glow, Lila whispered. Take one soft breath in and one soft breath out. When you breathe out, whisper the sleepy word. Lila held the lantern close. She breathed in, 2, 3. She breathed out, 2, 3. Glow, she whispered. The lantern glowed brighter, not harsh, just warmer, like a candle turned up a tiny bit. Perfect, Nori whispered. Lila tried again. In, 2, 3. Out, 2, 3. Glow. The lantern steadied. Lila felt a little calmer. They walked slowly along the path. The lantern painted star dots on the ground. The trees swayed gently. After a few breaths, the lantern began to glow brighter and brighter. Still warm, still kind, but a little too bright for bedtime. Lila squinted. Nori, it's getting bright. Nori nodded. It is listening very carefully. But if it's too bright, I might feel more awake. That is wise, Nori replied. At bedtime, we want softer light. Your breath can brighten, and it can also soften. Your breath is a dimmer. A dimmer? Yes. We breathe out longer. Long exhales tell the lantern and your body to soften. Nori counted gently. In, 2, 3, 4. Lila breathed in. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lila breathed out, slow and long. Glow, she whispered at the end. The lantern softened, like moonlight in a jar. Oh, Lila sighed. That feels better. Again, Nori said. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Glow. The lantern stayed low and warm. Lila's chest felt quieter. They continued walking. The grove grew even calmer. Then, a few thoughts fluttered into Lila's mind. Did I finish everything today? What if tomorrow is busy? What if I can't sleep? The lantern flickered, and once. Lila frowned. It flickered. Nori's eyes were kind. Your thoughts are moving quickly. Busy brains are not bad brains. They are just awake brains. Lila exhaled. She didn't feel in trouble. She just felt human. Nori floated toward a tree with pale, silvery leaves shaped like little hearts. When the wind touched those leaves, they whispered, shh, shh, shh. This, Nori said, is the Hushleaf Tree. Lila touched a leaf. It felt smooth and cool. The Hushleaf Tree helps thoughts rest. Not forever, just for bedtime. When a thought comes, you do not chase it away. You notice it, and you place it here, like setting a toy on a shelf. A thought arrived. What if I can't sleep? Lila whispered it out loud. Nori guided her. One soft breath in. Lila breathed in. One soft breath out, and whisper the sleepy word. Lila breathed out. Glow. Lila imagined the thought turning into a tiny paper leaf. She placed it gently on the Hushleaf Tree. The leaf stayed, as if the tree said, I can hold this for now. Lila felt lighter. Another thought arrived. What if tomorrow is busy? Lila breathed in, breathed out, whispered glow, and placed that thought on another leaf. One by one, she gave her thoughts a cozy place to rest. The lantern stopped flickering. It glowed, steady. See? Nori whispered. Your thoughts can rest too. Lila's eyelids drooped. I feel calmer. Your body is remembering how. As they returned to the path, a tiny face peeked from behind a glowberry bush. Big round eyes, soft brown fur, a twitching nose, a baby rabbit. The rabbit looked sleepy and unsure. The lantern flickered once, sensing the rabbit's wiggles. Lila crouched slowly. "Hi, little bunny." The rabbit took one tiny step forward. "It is trying to settle too," Nori said softly. Lila nodded. "We can help it feel safe." She lowered the lantern so the light was gentle. She breathed in slowly. In, 2, 3. She breathed out slowly. Out, 2, 3. Glow. The lantern steadied. The rabbit blinked. Lila did one longer breath. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Glow. The lantern softened, and the rabbit's ears drooped in a sleepy way. The rabbit stepped into the warm circle of light and sat down. Nori whispered, "Calm is something you can share." Lila smiled. "I like sharing calm." The rabbit yawned, tiny and sweet, and began to curl like a fuzzy comma. Watching it settle made Lila's own body feel heavier in the kindest way. Nori hovered beside her. "You are learning that calm can be shared with others, even with creatures who cannot speak." Lila watched the rabbit's tiny chest rise and fall. "It looks peaceful now, because you helped it remember how to settle," Nori said. "Sometimes another being's calm reminds us of our own." The rabbit's breathing slowed even more. Its nose stopped twitching. Its body became perfectly still, curled in a soft ball of fur. Lila whispered, "Can we stay a little longer?" "Of course," Nori replied. Calm is not rushed. They sat quietly. The lantern glowed. The rabbit slept. Fireflies drifted past like floating embers. Lila felt her own body growing heavier, but in a way that felt good, like she was made of warm honey. After a while, Nori said gently, "The rabbit is dreaming now. We should let it rest." Lila stood slowly. The rabbit did not stir. She took one last look, then followed Nori down the path. As they walked, Lila noticed something new, a faint shimmer in the air, like threads of silver light connecting the trees. "What is that?" she asked. Nori glanced up. "Those are dream threads. They appear when the grove is very calm. They carry sleepy wishes from one place to another." "Sleepy wishes?" Lila repeated. "Yes, a wish for rest, a wish for peace, a wish for tomorrow to be gentle." Nori floated closer to one thread. "Would you like to send a wish?" Lila thought for a moment. "I wish for everyone in the grove to sleep well tonight." Nori smiled. "A kind wish. Now, breathe it into the thread." Lila took a slow breath in. She breathed out toward the shimmering thread and whispered, "Glow." The thread brightened just a little and began to drift through the trees, like a ribbon carried by wind. "Your wish is traveling now," Nori said. Lila felt warmth in her chest. Not the buzzy kind from earlier, a different warmth, softer, gentler. They continued walking. The path curved past a small pond. The water was still as glass. Stars reflected on the surface, making it look like the sky had fallen, and decided to rest there. Nori pointed with a wing. "This is the mirror pond. It shows you what your calm looks like." Lila stepped closer and looked down. At first, she saw her own reflection, holding the lantern. But then, the reflection shifted. Instead of her face, she saw something else, a glowing outline of her body, and inside it, soft waves of light moving in rhythm with her breath. In, the light rose. Out, the light fell. "That is your calm," Nori said quietly. "It moves with you. It is always there, even when you forget." Lila stared. The waves of light were beautiful, slow, steady, like the ocean at bedtime. She tried a longer breath. In, 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The waves in the reflection moved slower, smoother. Your breath shapes your calm, Nori explained. When you breathe slowly, your calm becomes like this pond. Still, clear. Lila whispered, I didn't know I had this inside me. Everyone does, Nori said, but not everyone remembers to look. Lila stood there a moment longer, watching her calm glow and sway. Then she stepped back from the pond. The reflection faded, but the feeling stayed. Nori led her further along the path. They passed clusters of glowberries, hanging low enough to touch. Lila reached out and brushed one gently. It pulsed with light, once, like a tiny heartbeat. The berries glow when they feel safe, Nori said. Just like you, Lila smiled. She felt safer now than when she first stepped outside. Her chest was quiet. Her thoughts were slower. Even her footsteps felt softer. Then, ahead, Lila saw something unusual. A small archway made of twisted vines. Beyond it, the path seemed to glow faintly, as if the ground itself held light. What is that? Lila asked. Nori's voice became even quieter. That is the pathway of deep rest. It leads to the part of the grove where sleep lives. Sleep lives somewhere? Lila asked. Yes, Nori said. Sleep is not something you force. It is something you visit, and the pathway helps you find it. Lila stepped closer to the archway. The air felt different here, cooler, quieter, like the whole world had taken a deep breath and held it gently. Nori said, Before we walk this path, we must slow even more. Your breath must become like a whisper. Your steps must be softer than moss. Lila nodded. She took a slow breath in, a slower breath out. Glow, she whispered. The lantern dimmed to a tiny ember. Good, Nori said. Now we walk. Lila stepped through the archway. Immediately, everything felt softer. The ground beneath her feet was like walking on clouds. The air smelled faintly of lavender and warm milk. Even the stars seemed to glow more gently here. Nori floated beside her. This path remembers every creature who has ever needed rest. It holds their calm and shares it with you. Lila felt it, a warmth that was not hers alone. It was like being wrapped in a blanket knitted by 100 kind hands. They walked in silence. Lila's eyelids grew heavier. Her shoulders melted. Her hands, holding the lantern, felt like they were holding something made of feathers. After a while, Nori whispered, We are close now. Lila looked up. Ahead, the path opened into a clearing. In the center stood a tree, unlike any other. Its trunk was wide and silver. Its branches reached up and out, creating a canopy so thick it looked like a roof woven from moonlight. Beneath the tree was a bed of soft moss, glowing faintly as if it had soaked up starlight all day and was now giving it back in gentle pulses. This, Nori said, is the dreaming tree. It is where sleep waits for those who are ready. Lila stepped closer. The tree hummed softly, a sound so low she felt it more than heard it. The moss beneath it looked impossibly soft. Nori said, You do not have to lie down, but if you want to rest here for a moment, the tree will hold you. Lila sat on the moss. It was the softest thing she had ever felt. She set the lantern beside her. Its glow was now just a pinprick, barely there. She lay back. The moss cradled her. Above, the branches swayed gently, and between them, stars blinked, slow and patient. Nori settled on a low branch. Now we breathe with the tree. Lila listened. She could feel it. The tree was breathing. Slow, deep, ancient. She matched her breath to it. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The tree hummed. Again. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Lila's body felt like it was sinking, but not falling. Sinking into safety, into softness. Nori whispered, "This is where sleep begins." Not with effort, with permission. Lila's eyes closed halfway. She could still see the stars. She could still hear the hum. But everything felt far away and close at the same time. "You are learning," Nori said. "Your body knows how to rest. It has always known." Lila's breath moved like a wave returning to the sea, slow and certain. The lantern beside her bed held its glow at barely a whisper now, just enough to paint one star dot on the ceiling. Nori rested on the windowsill, wings folded like a tiny velvet book closing for the night. "Your body knows," Nori said softly. "It has always known." Lila's fingers loosened their grip on the blanket, her toes uncurled. The buzzing that had lived in her chest earlier was gone, replaced by something warmer, something like melted honey moving through her limbs. She tried one more breath. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. "Glow," she whispered, and the word felt like silk leaving her lips. The lantern dimmed one final notch. Nori spoke again, quieter this time. "Before you drift, I want to tell you something." Lila's eyes were half closed, but she listened. "The lantern will stay with you," Nori said. "Not just tonight, every night. Even when you cannot see it, it is there. Your breath carries it. Your calm holds it." Lila smiled without opening her eyes. "I can take it with me, always," Nori said. "And anytime the wiggles return, anytime your thoughts start hopping, you can breathe the sleepy word. You can soften the glow. You are the keeper of your own calm now." Lila's chest rose and fell. She did not answer with words. She answered with breath. Slow, deep, safe. Nori tilted her head, watching the girl sink deeper into rest. Then Nori spoke one last time. So soft, it was almost part of the night itself. "Good night, Lila. May your dreams be gentle. May your sleep be deep." And with that, Nori lifted from the windowsill and floated into the grove, her wings catching starlight as she disappeared between the trees. Lila's breath moved like a wave, returning to the sea, slow and certain. The lantern beside her bed held its glow at barely a whisper now, just enough to paint one star dot on the ceiling. Nori rested on the windowsill, wings folded like a tiny velvet book closing for the night. "Your body knows," Nori said softly. "It has always known." Lila's fingers loosened their grip on the blanket, her toes uncurled. The buzzing that had lived in her chest earlier was gone, replaced by something warmer, something like melted honey moving through her limbs. She tried one more breath. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. "Glow," she whispered, and the word felt like silk leaving her lips. The lantern dimmed one final notch. Nori spoke again, quieter this time. "Before you drift, I want to tell you something." Lila's eyes were half closed, but she listened. "The lantern will stay with you," Nori said. "Not just tonight, every night. Even when you cannot see it, it is there. Your breath carries it. Your calm holds it." Lila smiled without opening her eyes. "I can take it with me, always," Nori said. "And anytime the wiggles return, anytime your thoughts start hopping, you can breathe the sleepy word. You can soften the glow. You are the keeper of your own calm now." Lila's chest rose and fell. She did not answer with words. She answered with breath. Slow, deep, safe. Nori tilted her head, watching the girl sink deeper into rest. Then Nori spoke one last time. So soft, it was almost part of the night itself. "Good night, Lila. May your dreams be gentle. May your sleep be deep." And with that, Nori lifted from the windowsill and floated into the grove, her wings catching starlight as she disappeared between the trees. The lantern beside Lila's bed held its tiny glow. One star dot, one promise, one breath at a time. Outside, Glowberry Grove settled into its own sleep. The fireflies blinked slower. The leaves whispered goodnight to each other. The Hushleaf Tree held its collection of resting thoughts. The baby rabbit curled tighter in its burrow. The mirror pond reflected stars that seemed to breathe with the night. Everything in the grove knew the same secret Lila had learned. Calm is not something you chase. It is something you remember. It is something you carry. It is something that glows when you let it. And tonight, in a cozy bed between two friendly trees, Lila remembered. Her breath was a gentle helper. Her body knew how to rest. The wiggles had quieted. The thoughts had found their leaves. The lantern had softened to a whisper. Sleep was no longer something she worried about finding. It had found her instead, gentle as moss, warm as starlight, deep as the grove itself. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Glow.